Hi, I've been asked to do the daily encouragement today, so thank you so much for the honour, Adam. And I just firstly want to start off by saying thank you to those who've done the daily encouragements. I've watched lots of them, and they have done what it says on the tin. They've been so encouraging. I think it's amazing this time, this difficult time, that God is speaking into people's lives. And thank you so much for sharing what God's been speaking to you about, and it is so useful for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the ways that God has been speaking to me in this time. So the first one is through my prayer life. And most of the time I'm praying, I'm just getting a simple few words from God. Do you trust me? And I think at this time it is difficult to say straight away yes to that question, because everything we know, everything we've kind of had confidence in at the moment, everything we've put security in at the moment has kind of been taken away. And it is difficult to say yes to that. So I've also been reading the Gospels. I've been looking through an app called Through the Word, and it is a brilliant app. You have a chapter each day. There's about an 8-minute talk on those chapters. They break down what the chapter's about, and I just find it so simple and so easy to use, and really helps me understand what the chapters are about. And there's 3 stories in the Gospel that really show me and encourage me to be more faithful, to trust in God. So the first one is the story of Lazarus, an incredibly famous story in the Bible. Jesus is off preaching. His friends tell him that his good friend Lazarus is really ill. He needs to come. But unfortunately, Jesus gets there too late and Lazarus has died. And obviously, we know the story of the miracle. We know how that Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. And there has always been something strange about this story for me, is the fact that Jesus weeps. And I find that strange because Jesus knew that he could bring Lazarus back from the dead. He knew what God was going to do. He knew that he was going to do this miracle. But I've just found recently so encouraged by the fact that shows a God that knows our pain. That Jesus knew what it felt like to lose someone he loved. And I find that just so encouraging, that we know a God that knows our pain. And for some of you, it could be that you've lost people. And as a church, I want you to know that we are praying for you. It could be that you may not have lost someone, but you've lost a job. You've lost that security, you've lost that finance. And it is a difficult time. My second kind of story that really encouraged me is the story of the mustard seed. And Jesus makes this illustration about our faith. He talks about the faith the size of a mustard seed moving mountains. And a mustard seed is incredibly small, but when planted can grow an incredibly tall, strong tree. And I'm just really encouraged what it takes from us is such a small bit of faith to move that mountain, to see those miracles. And I just encourage you at this time, maybe start doing the small things. Maybe that small yes to the do you trust me question. And you will see God working in your life. The last one is the rich man. So a rich man comes to Jesus. He says, Jesus, I have worked really hard. I've done really well. I've followed all the commandments, haven't broken any. What can I do to get to heaven? And Jesus, straight away, what I love about this is compassion for this man. He loves this man. Shows a real heart of Jesus. And he says, go and sell your possessions. And the man goes away upset. He goes away unhappy because he doesn't want to do that. And the disciples were really shocked by this. Like, how can this man not get into heaven? Because at the time, being rich, people kind of saw as a sign that God was pretty happy with you. But the man had got it wrong. And we sometimes get this wrong. It's nothing to do with what we can do. And Jesus answers this. He tells the disciples and said, you can do nothing through man, but through God, anything is possible. And I just really want to encourage you that we worship a God that is bigger than Corona. We worship a God that knew about this, that this wasn't a surprise. And I just find that really encouraging. My favourite song at the moment is Tim Hughes' The Cross Stands Above It All. And I just think it's such an amazing song, so if you get a chance to listen to it. But I just think it shows the point that we know a God, as I've already said, bigger than this all. And when Jesus died on the cross, he defeated sin, he defeated death. And as Christians, we have nothing to fear. So my encouragement today is just trust God. Trust in God. We are so blessed to know such a strong, powerful God. And we know the truth that the cross stands above it all. Thank you and take care.